All right, so I wanted to make a quick little video. This is just the calculator part for that section 1.2. So the problem says, use a calculator to fill in the table to help find the limits if, and it gives me that big, long rational function up there. So I'm gonna do that. First thing you do, grab your calculator and put the function in. When you put it in there, just be careful. The way I'm gonna enter it in is I'm gonna take the top. You have to put it in parentheses, divided by, and put the bottom in parentheses. If you don't include those parentheses, then it'll be graphing a different function from what you want it to. You can also go in the math menu, and there is actually a fraction button in there you can use that you could use to make it look more like it does, up here on the problem. Okay, so we're gonna go through, and it tells me I wanna find the limit as x approaches 1. So what it's doing is it wants us to take this table and just plug in numbers that are close to 1. So you see first it's going 0.9, 0.99, 0.999, then do the same thing coming from the right side, right? 1.1, 1.01. You're just getting closer to 1 and seeing what happens. Okay, so when I go to do that, I'm going to start out just by going into my table set. Let's look at the graph actually first. If I go to Zoom Standard, go down to there. So it looks like that. So it sure looks like there's a vertical asymptote at -1, maybe +1. Okay, so let's see what happens. Now I'm going to go to the table set. I'm going to change it to ask. That way I can put in what I want. I can put in my own numbers. And then I'm going to go to the table, so second graph. Okay, I'm just going to try. First I'm going to come from the left side. I'm going to plug in 0.9, hit enter, 0.99, look enter, 0.999. I'm getting closer and closer to 1. And you see what's happening there. I'm getting numbers that are bigger and bigger. So that looks like the graph. It looks like it's going up. So we could fill out the table there. Let's come from the other direction. I'm going to go 1.1 first, 1.01, 1.001. Okay, and that one looks like it's going down. So that kind of confirms what we saw on the graph there, right? As I get closer to 1, coming from the left, it's going to infinity. Coming from the right, it's going to -infinity. So the answer to number A, part A, right, I would say the limit does not exist, right? It does not approach a number. Okay, now it wants me to try 2. So I'm going to go back to my table, do the same thing, but we'll do it with 2. So I'm going to go back up here. I didn't do this, but we could actually plug 2 in there and see what happens. You see you get an error message. Now, if you look at the graph again, it sure looks like there's a point at 2 something. But just be aware, a lot of times what happens is that if there's probably a hole there, and the calculator does not graph holes. So we're going to go through and figure out what that would be equal to. So we're going to go back to the table, and we're going to plug in numbers close to 2. So we're going to go 1.9, 1.99, 1.999. And you'll see what's happening. It looks like it's getting closer. We got 0.3328. Let's go one more time, even though it's not in our book. I'm going to plug in 1.9999. And it sure looks like it's getting closer to 0.3 repeating. Okay, let's try it from the other side. So I'm going to go 2.1, 2.01, 2.0001. Oops. Sorry, I missed the point there. 2.00001. And if you look at that one again, it looks like as I get closer to 2, it's getting also close to 0.333 repeating. So I come down here, it sure looks like as I get closer to 2, the limit's going to equal 0. We go 3 decimal places, right? 333. Okay, now it says, can a table like this be used to find the limits with absolute certainty? Kind of think about what you think about that. I'm going to say no. Like we're approximating here, and it sure looks like that's what's happening. We could keep getting closer and closer, and maybe something else happens. Chances are, though, that is the limit. With absolute certainty, we can't really say that. But we can be pretty sure, pretty confident that is what the limit would be. So that's how you use a calculator to find a limit.